YouTube channel. I'm not sure if I can cut it out on Rumble or any other platform. Anyway, let's start. My name is Hightech, and I see the sound is working. So my name is Hightech, and I'm the creator of Hightech meme coin. This is the mint address. Solana mint address. I released it on Solana blockchain. Why? Because it's literally the best blockchain right now for something that needs scalability. If you need scalability, if you need fast and cheap transactions, I think right now only Solana grants you that. As that means Solana is a good investment. I mean, long term. Well, I do not invest in Solana. Me myself, I do not invest in Solana, and I'm not a huge fan of Solana going up price, to be honest, because the higher it goes, the more people have to pay for transactions and operations on my meme coin. So that's not really what I desire. I rather prefer my meme coin to go up. And sorry, forgot to the recording on again. My God, I'm forgetting about one hell of things today. So yeah, I do not desire Solana to go up any means, because that will increase cost of operations on my meme coin. What I prefer instead is my meme coin to go up, of course. And right now, as of today, is $214, starting at $1 a little bit over 2 months ago, I think. So must admit, it has performed amazingly well. But yeah, let's go back to market overview. From time to time, we'll be taking a look at this chart too. Here is, of course, the live chat from all of the platforms I'm live streaming to right now. I live stream to Rumble, as you see, live stream to YouTube and to Twitch and to X, but live viewer count is not available for X. Yeah, as you see, for whatever reason, even though usually greatest amount of views I get on X. So it's a bummer. It's a bummer that people think that 1 or 2 people are watching me here. In fact, it's usually much more than that. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, so as you see, we keep pushing up. We finally closed. I'm live streaming this live stream with thumbnail 8/25th, even though my time zone is 3 a.m. right now. In the United States, it's still 5th. That's okay. Maybe I will get viewers from there. Actually, make shorts for United States. So yeah, probably sooner or later I will get some viewers from there, some subscribers maybe to my YouTube channel. That would be cool. Well, share, like, and subscribe, of course, if you watch it. If you are from US and you haven't subscribed to my channel, then do so. I think it's well worth it. Even though sometimes you have to bear with my poor English. I'm doing my best anyway. Sometimes I even risk enough to try to be funny in the language I barely know. So I appreciate that. Anyway, so as you see, we keep pushing up. And it's literally what I've been telling you guys for so long already. Do not speculate on this thing to go down anytime soon, because it will be punching you right in the mouth. You will be poking it on the arm. It will be turning around and coming at you with a huge swing immediately. So it will not give you time to dodge it. And it's literally what we are seeing right now. Right after, or actually very shortly before we closed this weekly, we started to rally. We spiked up, and let me take a look how it actually, what we are dealing with on the weekly here. And I've seen some posts, like people accusing Bitcoin. I see see that Polish intro screen on my phone because it's paused there, and embarrassing. I forgot about something like that. Anyway, it's a little bit of an off topic. Anyway, so some traders, at least they claim to be traders, they pointed out this weekly close is worse than is actually below this high. Therefore, that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. That's a sign of weakness. Let me tell you, I think to an extent that proves that they are not really good traders. Why? Because you cannot compare a week to a weekly close because you are literally comparing apple to oranges. You're comparing two different metrics and against each other. If you want to compare weeks, then you must. I mean, if you want to make a right comparison here, you must compare weeks to weeks and weekly closes to weekly closes. That's a fair comparison, not a weekly close to a week like that individual did TRG. I don't know if you know him on X. And yeah, in my opinion, current state of this state, I wanted to say, of this chart, it's amazing. It's marvelous. To say, because we are having another all-time high weekly close. Another one, right? So this one has been second consecutive all-time high weekly close. So really nothing to complain about. On top of that, this week we made new all-time high. So we are literally with both legs, with both feet in the bullish territory. There is practically nothing more to defeat here. And now I think we are on uncharted territory, and you know the space is wide open. They're on a vast field. Nothing's really there. We can just keep walking forward. My opinion. Of course, we also have quite a long series of green weekly candles. The one that just closed has been in total 7, as you see. And when you examine Bitcoin chart, actually the longest series of consecutive green weekly candles is 7. So if we really want to respect that statistics, well, we should be a little bit afraid that we are standing in front of a huge danger that I think is going to at least have a little bit of a correction. Historically speaking, that never actually meant that we are going to see a disaster. I think not even once it happened that after 7 consecutive weekly candles we had a huge drop. I think the worst case scenario that happened was a correction, and that's it. Because where was it? Where was 7 consecutive green weekly candles? I think it was here. All right. Yes. Then we had a correction, but then later we continued. I think it was here too. Let me check it. Was it? Yes, 7. Then we also had a little bit of a correction. Then we continued much higher. I'm quite sure it was here too. Yes, as well. We had a little bit of a correction. Then later we continued higher. So actually, and that's it. I think we did not have any more instances of 7 consecutive. Maybe here. Oh, this one was 8. Oh wow. So there was one longer. Yeah, this one was 8. Okay. I thought I missed this one. Or last time I checked, I checked it wrong. Okay. So there was only one instance of longer series of green weekly candles. But anyway, Nevertheless, as you see, every single time had something like this, it was actually a bullish sign. It wasn't a bearish sign, it was a bullish sign. So yeah, I don't know. I think that confirms we are going to see a further upside. There's nothing really to fear of here, to worry about. Another sign, of course, is what is on gold chart. Here, tokenized gold. Daily on the weekly, we don't see it very well. But on the daily, we see that we are having lower highs and lower lows. I've been showing it yesterday, of course. I repeat myself quite a lot on these live streams because I try to live stream, frequently. So it's literally impossible not to repeat yourself in this convention, let's say, this frequency. But yeah, for those that did not see my material yesterday or from yesterday, well, yeah, in this small time frame here, we are clearly having lower highs and lower lows, and that's a very good risk on assets because that, in theory at least, should be a harbinger of this thing completely collapsing, and this thing is giving a sign that people are not afraid anymore. With the investors, right? The big players, they're not really afraid of the market situation, so they're not trying to protect their capital. They pass from defense, they transition from defense to offense, right? Because that's literally what gold is. Gold, I think, is the best fear and greed index. I think you will not find a better fear and greed index than gold itself. Gold looks bullish, then market is scared. If gold looks bearish, then market feels comfortable and wants to risk their money, wants to bet their money on something a little bit more risky. But here we are talking about around 40 days time, and overall trend, of course, is much bigger than that. Yeah, 41 days more or less. Overall trend is so far is like this. This is an uptrend, if you don't know it. So it is possible that we keep continuing to grow here. It is, but every single rollover first happens on smaller time frames. So that is why we are trying to spot it exactly that here. And this is a daily candle, so it's not tiny time frame neither. So even that is over 1 month, this thing playing out this fashion, I think it's fair to assume that hey, there's a great potential to end this rally. Great potential, especially that we are at all-time highs. Because if we are still below all-time highs, then maybe, then maybe, let's say, other sentiment would be more justifiable or easier to justify. Yeah, if we were below all-time high, I think it would be even easier to speculate on this thing actually turning bearish, because all-time highs, I mean, at least in theory, should serve as a level of resistance. But the same thing is if we keep railing, we actually left our previous all-time high long behind, and now we are starting to see a bearish formation literally on the very top of this rally. So I think it's very fair to assume and to speculate that this is marking the end of it, right? The end of this rally, the end of this trend, of this uptrend. Okay, let's go to Bitcoin dominance. Let's take a look what is going on there. And here the weekly has closed below 64.27%, which is one of important levels of resistance here that I marked. And thank you, TradingView, that you haven't removed my magic lines, because you do it like every I don't know, 2 or 3 days. So today I did not have to recreate them. You know, a little bit work, less work for me. That's cool. And yeah, this 64.27 was definitely, visibly getting some weight, because as you see here, it actually played a. I don't know why this. Okay, here and as well here, and again here, um, and here on this daily candles. Actually, all of this time here, we could clearly see that 64.27, whatever reason, is treated as important. And yeah, I think that will be it, because yeah, of course, came back to it. Now the old uptrend starts to curve. It looks like it's losing steam. On top of it, we get rejected almost exactly from literally this level of resistance. We are still very high, 64.27 Bitcoin dominance. This is a really high level, very, very high level. And let me remind you that crypto, all of the crypto, exists in a free market, in a free market environment, right? So, so that is why dominance of this type, it cannot be imposed by regulators or anything, unlike other assets. So it is comparable to a speed of light. 100% of Bitcoin dominance is, we could compare it to the speed of light. And if you ever paid attention on physics lessons at school, you should know that the more you try to approach speed of light, the more energy you need. And speed of light, actually, for something that has mass, in theory, at least in theory, should require infinite energy, right? So here, that 100% is actually changing infinity, meaning that it will never happen. And the closer we are to that mark, the more energy we require. So that is why I was doubting. I was highly doubting, those opinions, those experts that were saying we are going to 70% or above 70%. I was like, this is not 2017 anymore. I mean, a lot has happened since then. Everything is possible, but certain things are very little probable, and I put that one exactly in that box with label, very, very low probability of occurring. And so far, it's been true. It still went much higher than I expected. Far, far, far higher. I thought we're going to have troubles, serious troubles, much lower. Every single time we were getting some pushback here or here or here, I was thinking, this is it. And this thing kept to negate it, and it was climbing higher and higher. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. But yeah, I don't think it's going to last any longer. I think this story already ended. And yeah, that's what I want to look at. Okay, let's take a look at USDT. We do that every day. Why not USDT dominance? Sorry. Dominance, because we look at it every single day, so why not today as well? Here I'm liking it too a lot, of course, because as you see, the daily we have closed below 456, and that's a level that I marked here as one that is important, and we are closing below it. And on the weekly, we also closed below it yesterday. I don't know if you remember, I mean, or if you watched, but yesterday this weekly candle was actually green. I was saying it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter that it's green because the shape of it was still very similar to the preceding candle, and literally it's telling us that we are still continuing what we've been doing, and having this candle close even worse below that 4.53 level. That's a nice addition, definitely a nice addition, a nice cherry on top, and another small confirmation that it's going the way I'm predicting, right? Quite a while already. Let's take a look again a bit to see what's going on there. Smaller time frames. Trade for Impact, which are my trading systems, of course, that manage my own capital. We are still in a position on Bitcoin, as you see. So it has been a right thing to do, a correct thing to do, because we did not roll over. We're a little bit lower than the highest point of this trade, of course, but it's still very decent, plus 63%. And I think it's going to turn into dozens of percents in it. And on hourly candle, it's actually even more. It's plus 24, almost plus 25%, much more impressive, of course. And this one definitely is going to turn into dozens of percents. Above any doubt, it actually needs only additional 5% of growth, and then it will get into the territory already. So definitely, and definitely, that's definitely the truth. Okay, what else? Let's take a look at the sentiment. Sentiment is at 67. This is actually from yesterday. Let's take a look how is it doing today. 69, just a little bit higher. Yesterday, I'm talking about UTC time zone. So literally 24 minutes ago. 24 minutes ago, it was at 67. Today is at 69. So still very cold. We are, so close to all-time highs on Bitcoin, and sentiment is only at 69. Sorry. So that's really, really nice. That's really, really nice, and that's another a very good sign. Another very good sign that nobody's home, nobody's here. Liquidations, same stuff. They remain very low. Bitcoin below $50 million. Liquidations from 24 hours. Even on Sunday, that's very low. With this size of the Bitcoin market, even on Sunday, below 50 million is really, really low. And that's what, against popular belief that, in order to see price climb up, you need people. It's actually the exact opposite. At the beginning of the move, we don't want anybody to be there, because otherwise market will be simply heavy, right? Because it will be overloaded with people expecting great performance in short amount of time, and they will be losing their temper very quickly, and they will be causing sell-offs when their performance will not meet their hopes, right? And that, of course, acts against the price. It dwarfs the trend, dwarfs the price, and no asset can perform in such conditions. So average Joes, all of the individual investors, retail, so-called retail, they must come much later. They cannot be present in the market right now, because they would simply spoil it. Now let's take a look at other chart. How that one closed. Probably red. Did it manage to actually close in green? It actually did. Wow. When I looked at it a few hours ago, when I was live streaming on my Polish YouTube channel, it was still red. And actually, last hour, I managed to flip green. Even red, it was looking good, to be honest, because we are still above 245, $250 billion level. And that is what I cared for the most. Achieved that. And now on top of it, once again, a cherry on top, that this candle has closed green. That's even better. It's definitely better. So the odds that next week is going to be well bullish and June is going to be well bullish, in my eyes, are sky high. Sky high. And I don't think that's the popular belief, to be honest. I don't think that's the most popular opinion right now. Why? Because of course, sentiment will be much higher. Everyone will be ecstatic about what has done just hours ago, and that's nowhere to be seen. Absolutely. So what I say is truth. I mean, it's true. What I say it's true. That nobody's here. Nobody's here, and in this context, in this market context, when nobody's here, that's bullish. Because if on Bitcoin we are not crashing, nobody here means there is no selling pressure. Why? Because nobody's here. Everybody went home. Everyone, and their mother could sell. They sold. So right now, the only people remaining here are those that are not selling, or at least are not selling anytime soon. So right now, that composition of the market, whatever buying pressure is going to push it up, right? And when it comes to the altcoin market, it has sold off so heavily twice, relatively short amount of time, heavily punishing anyone who came close. Now I think we have exactly the same setup here. And you know, we must add to the mix that Bitcoin's performance, of course, is going to draw attention. People are going to realize that they missed it again, they missed the train again, and they will be looking after a second Bitcoin. They will be looking after, okay, what from that category has not performed yet? I will try to get into this one before it repeats what Bitcoin has done. So yeah. Unfortunately, I do not have to open any trades manually. Everything is managed in my case by my trading systems. But yeah, I've been waiting for some profits for quite a while already. Last 1 year, even 1 year and a half, was not easy. It was very easy to lose money. Yeah, me fortunately, I did not lose that much. It's very easy to recover it once market starts to rally. My system will achieve it. I lost maybe like 10% of the average Joe has lost. So it's very easy for me to recover it once market starts to rally. And that, of course, will affect my meme coin, right? Because I'll be buying it up. When markets rally, be sure that I will be buying up my meme coin. So before that happens, I think it's a very, very smart thing to do to allocate at least one USDT or USDC into it. Something small, a little bit of Solana. And I was saying, I'm repeating the same what I said at the very beginning. I launched this coin. I said literally the same. Just get yourself something small, something that you will not even remember that you have it, and it will still turn into money. And as you see, I was on point, because anybody who invested back then has made a very, very physical, very countable, very, um, very real money. So I'm repeating it once again right now before I start to buy it up because you will see this thing here, this chart here, really really high, the Bitcoin chart as well, and I have open position on Bitcoin, so the profits from there will be rotating into my Bitcoin. That is the deal. That is the deal. I'm not abandoning my own projects, never. And it is very easy to tell, how consequent I am if you go to my YouTube channel and look for how long have I been running this YouTube channel. It's almost zero result because this YouTube channel, English media, they are performing very bad against my Polish YouTube. My Polish YouTube channel is performing nicely. This one is performing absolutely terrible, yet I still run it because I do not give up. I never give up my projects. I'll be running this side of my social media as long as it grows, as it turns into a success. It's only a matter of time. And this is actually the reason behind it. Well, initially, my take is that YouTube is not showing my content. I mean, it has not been showing my content. Now it actually starts to show it because I started to do shorts. I used to do shorts, but very little. Now I do much more, and I see text effect. So I expect this YouTube channel also to start to perform sometime soon. Month, 2, 3. Okay. Anything else? Let's take a look at CME. Move the ticker. I missed it again. Yeah, CME. Bitcoin futures. CME, I think they already open. Open? They opened. Yes, they are trading for few minutes. It's already 2 hours. And as you see, it's going up, right? It's going up. Wall Street is not shorting it, so that's good. Now all of the situation with CME is a little bit funny because futures market is actually betting on where the price is going to go. Options market is the same; it's also betting, but futures market is betting that tries to mimic the real market. Options is actually like much more, say, standard type of betting. But yeah, with Bitcoin, first few hours, futures market can affect Bitcoin price on the spot market, which is very very weird because it literally compares a situation in which I don't know, a football team starts to lose because they see people start to bet on it that it is going to lose the game. I mean, that's something, completely crazy. But I think it's just because people don't really realize what futures market is. I think they confuse it for some other type of market. They don't really recognize, that the spot market is the real market and futures market is the fake one. I think that confusion is the one to blame here. So yeah, this side of the market is looking good too. Let's take a look at Ethereum. What Ethereum is doing? Ethereum is actually showing it completely wrong, so I was it off. Not designed for the daily. It was designed. This algorithm was designed for hourly and 15-minute candle. Actually, that does not daily. But yeah, on here on the daily, we maintain the level, maintain the level of support. Like I said, to me it's looking good. To me it's looking good, and I think this formation I was talking about is still in play, right? The one I have shown you. I showed it to you like 2 days ago, I think, or maybe 3 days ago, something like that. I was recalling this behavior pattern. The market is having an uptrend and suddenly it's spiking up much more, then it comes down, but then it stays in the uptrend. I think this is literally what we are dealing with here, and so far so good. So far, it has been holding ground. Time frame probably is going to be more visible slightly. Some people could be trying to identify a head and shoulders pattern here. I don't think that's the case. I think I'm more correct on this one. This pattern than anybody else with head and shoulders pattern. And yeah, time will tell. Time will tell if I'm right, if I'm wrong. I think all these bullish signs that have all over the place, many different charts confirming what's about to happen. I think this one is the right way to interpret what Ethereum's chart is showing us. Yeah. Clean it. Okay. This one too. Now it's clean. Probably TradingView would not. I mean, sorry. Probably if I put any lines later that I want them to stay, just so whenever I come back to this chat, I can talk about them again. TradingView would remove them completely, but those, since they are messy and they're not really well put, if I leave them 100%, TradingView remembers them forever. I even think, even though I just deleted them, if I come back to this chart like tomorrow, on the day after tomorrow, those drawings will still be here. It happened to me many times with TradingView. Was drawing like a chicken with a nail, and then I was clearing it out. I was deleting it, and days after I revisited the chart, and those drawings were still there. TradingView is literally amazing with that. Okay, let's go back to the YouTube chart. Looks really good. Yeah, here is much more apparent when you look on the daily. You can clearly see that formation much clearer. That we have that excitation here. Somebody tried to short it, but remain in the uptrend, even though some larger player tried to short it, we still remain in the uptrend, and we are kicking, right, cruising. That's the title of this live stream. We are cruising in the Lambo. We're sitting in the Lambo, drinking coffee, cruising around the neighborhood, showing off. Right? Nobody saw it coming. Absolutely nobody saw it coming. So they pretend like they don't see. Nobody's really going outside and to say hi, or nothing like that. They just sit at home, sit in their apartments, looking at us through the window, pretending, making sure that we don't see them. That's literally, the state of the Bitcoin market right now. But worry not, they will join. At some point, they will break. They will break and they will walk out, and they will get outside, and they will start to be visible in the street, and that will of course happen. The street always comes to the market when we are in the last phase, right? The euphoria, the let's say popularity, loud talks, they happen, in the television, in on YouTube channels, different YouTube channels talking about finance, but usually not really pay much attention to the crypto market. They get the loudest, the last phase of the market push. Like last, 15, maybe 10% the move, and that's it. So it is so important to actually get into the market when nobody's interested in it. If nobody is interested in it, it means that's the time. I think that's the easiest indicator where to buy and when to sell. And when nobody, like even I don't know, dog with a broken leg. We in Polish we have that saying that dog with a broken leg doesn't want something, right? I'm not sure if there's any similar saying in English, to be honest. Because as you know, my English is a little bit clumsy, um, clunky. Sorry, a little bit clunky. But yeah, when even a dog with a broken leg is not interested in crypto, is not interested in Bitcoin, it means that's the time to buy. And I think literally now, even though we are at all-time highs, it is a very peculiar situation. It's a very misleading situation because if interest is low and we are at all-time high, people think, okay, nobody's going to buy it. No, that is not how it works. It means the only people remain in the market are strong hands. Most of them probably are market makers, and they have little to zero resistance in drawing the price of this asset very, very high. They can literally artificially print it on the chart, right? Slowly calling for attention and slowly collecting people interested in it to, to buy it at those artificially pumped prices, right? Creating exit liquidity for those that created it. That's how it works. That's how it works. What have I been talking to you guys? What is it? 45 minutes. Okay. But that's actually not true. I have not been talking 45 minutes because there was a music playing at the beginning. The intro music with a completely wrong intro screen. I still have it on my phone, and it's embarrassing. I'll have to carry it out. Let me take a look at the live chat. If anybody is writing here anything, but as you see, nobody's writing anything. You guys ask questions. If you have any, ask questions. I will try to respond. Unless the sound quality is so bad, my English accent is so bad that I don't understand what I say. To be perfectly fair, that could be the case. Look on James Win Real closed 1 billion worth of Bitcoin short position 2 hours ago, losing what? Short position, yeah, losing 15 minutes. Yeah, that's why. That's why I tell you guys never to trade futures, never to use leverage, and especially never short inflationary asset against inflationary asset that USD is. Right? Bitcoin is a deflationary asset. USD is an inflationary asset. So you automatically are put yourself on the wrong side of defense, on the weak side of defense. You assign yourself you reassign yourself to the weaker team generally, because even weaker team, can score when it is playing against someone exhausted, right? Because an asset that is oversold is an asset that is in state of exhaustion, and then yes, but it's good to follow general rules. To be honest, statistically speaking, it's good to follow general rules, and the general rule is you do not you do not put yourself against the tides. And in this case, as I explained, literally what you do. Yeah, bookmark it because I'm going to paste it in my run in Polish. I still do not have an English. I will create one, but first I need to gather a little bit followers, a little bit subscribers here and there, and then time will come. But right now it makes no sense because there will be like 3 people there. Mario, GPT is getting too weird to ignore a thread. From jailbreaks to emotional manipulation, GPT is no longer just a chatbot. Here are 5 stories that prove wait, what? Zone. I recent days I work with AI quite a lot, and transformers, to be honest, are still very limited. But that's definitely not a self-aware AI. For those that know a little bit of technicals here, very easy to realize. Those that are a little bit more technical, there's still a long way to go. Make this thing self-aware. But definitely requires a lot of computational power. A lot of compute is necessary for AI in current state to mimic awareness, mimic self-awareness. And yeah, we will get there. We will definitely get there, but still could take a couple of years. At fastest, couple of me buying one more dip. As we have here. Info. TRG plus 6% now and funding going negative. Yep. Can open interest plus 5% this morning. What's going on here? Bro, that's another proof that this guy doesn't really know read the charts. To be honest. I mean, if he watched at least a little bit of my life, would become so simple market mechanics. Naive, me to the person who advised me to buy the dip last month. Myself. Yeah. As you know, as to seek advice, I don't anyone to advise me. I have my own trading system that is a well-proven system over the years, and that one efficiently. So it doesn't matter what is happening in the market. The worst case of delay, a little bit of delay is an opportunity. Everything looks so cheap in Sol. 40 Sol, 0.3 Sol, 700 Sol, 8 Sol. Yeah, since Solana is so expensive now, it costs well over $100. So same is the case for high tech, of course. High tech, so my meme coin here. If you calculate how much whatever costs in high tech is going to be even cheaper because high tech is more expensive than Solana now. I've married a girl who say things like, text me, proud of you, by the dip, you're pre-rich, but especially by the dip and you're pre-rich. Those are two most important sentences. Tomley says, as Bitcoin goes up, MicroStrategy MSTR very likely goes up a lot more. Yeah, of course, because that's what MicroStrategy is doing, or strategy actually. It's not MicroStrategy anymore. Now it's strategy. Vivek still called it MicroStrategy. It's type of a spiral. The market moves up, strategy's price will go double or maybe triple that, but it also works other way around. When Bitcoin falls, Bitcoin experiences a reduction in value, then strategy is twice as deeper. Swear words have never been spoken. The social contact is dead. Zoom calls in coffee shops, music allowed on the subway, texting in movie theaters, calls out on airplanes. Everyone has main character energy now and thinks the rest of the world is a bunch of NPCs. The more you stare at a screen, the more you feel like you can do anything you want. Since other humans just wind up seeming like avatars you can ignore, commenters you can mute, or gang members you can run over in Grand Theft Auto. Is it like that? Maybe where this guy lives. I think so. I mean, 2020 to me has proven that yeah, most of people are NPCs. 2020 was the NPC test. Are you an NPC? Like 99% of the people said yes. Just like from my surrounding, own personal surrounding, nobody said no besides me. 2020, nobody, everybody lined up. So if you have that feeling, that assumption that you're the main character, you much more can say no things that you don't like. There's very few that stood their ground. Very, very few. Point Telegraph. Justin, President Trump has agreed to extend the June 1st deadline for 50% tariffs on EU trade to July 9th. That's not a very long extension, to be honest. It's a little bit over a month, but I don't know. Maybe that's enough for the TradFi to react positively for it. I agree that Derek Chauvin should be fully pardoned and compensated for false accusation of killing a criminal who died of fentanyl overdose. Related, so let's keep it. But yeah, it says apparently two people suffered. That's not cool. It's actually pretty funny. those those parades, and I don't even call it. This is a procedure. This is not a procedure. I don't even know for it. So weird. So weird that the people came up with something like that, like a ritual. This is super weird. And it's silly. It's silly and weird. I know it's to pay the respect, but I think it's I don't know. It's overdoing. It's overdoing it. They're definitely overdoing it. Gordon, buy as many meme coins as you can. Soon retail will be priced out of meme coins. And the numbers. I can advise you to buy only one meme coin, and that one meme is of course high tech, not any other one. Why? Because I I run it. I created it and I support it, and I consider myself a very solid brand. And if you are not aware of it yet, find out. Alio, liquidate James Wynn. He did not get liquidated, but he closed his position. And he lost a little bit of money. I know he opened a long on Bitcoin. He made some money with it. Later, apparently, he transitioned to short position, and he lost some money. Did he actually get away with any profit from this? State of the crypto industry. Long 1B, we're going to 130K. Oh, wait, short 1B, we go lower. Just use my referral link for rebates by Moonpig. Entry bro. I got no idea what it is, but probably it completely crashed. Made by this meme, I imagine it completely crashed. Yeah, it has crashed. Here to here, minus 60, 61%. Be worse. Definitely worse. This thing probably will keep going up. Not as much as, when it was listed. How high it actually went? It went 125%. Okay, 300. It could make 300 from here. But yeah, high tech is going to do like 10 times that, or maybe 20 or 30 times that. So yeah. What's your guru? Just says it's ready to move quickly to negotiate a new trade deal with the US. That's 33 minutes ago. Of course. How else? What else? What other answer would you expect from them? Billionaire Tim Draper says Bitcoin is going to infinity soon. It's coming. Not in a straight line, though. By the way, let me take a look at live chat. Live chat is not showing anybody. I see on my X profile 2 people watching, so in total we've got 4. That's something. Maybe because probably my live stream right now is most visible European time zone. Probably in Americas is not really showing it that much. Because much more, let's say, a standard hour to watch something there than here. This is the issue with all these new spots. Why hype run and boop died? Why hype run and boop died? Oh, the volumes on AGL have a chance to catch up to Binance. Happy like liquid, yeah, of course, but so that's different. When we talk about Binance is an unbeatable king. Nothing comes close. Justin, Alex Becker predicts that Cardano ADA will overtake Solana. No chance. He has no idea what he's talking about. I don't know. Maybe in price, I don't think. I don't think it's going to happen even with price. But Solana, let me tell you, Solana has done things the right way. It had a little bit of issues at the beginning. Now those issues are gone, and it's kicking butt. It's literally kicking butt. It's really fast, reliable, and on top of that, it's super cheap. And it has a lot of DEXs. There's a lot of the apps there, unlike on Cardano. I haven't written any DApps yet on Solana because those that know me for, I mean, my have watched my live streams for quite a while. They know I do programming. So I haven't played with Solana yet, but because of my token, I will, of course. I will create the apps for my token. So uh, I will actually become much more familiar why from also from that side why Solana is celebrating such a big success because it is. But yeah, from what I've been seeing so far, from what I have seen, there's much more dev activity in the space of Solana than in Cardano space. Hey guys, allow me to wrap it up right here. Today's live stream is a little bit weird with a lot of mistakes. I mean, from the very beginning. But yeah, sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like, yeah, that's literally what the cat would do. Cat would do exactly that. That is like that is why I do not really like cats. Prefer dogs much more a dog guy. Because I had cats. I had cats. They're very ungrateful, super ungrateful animals. So yeah, okay. Once again, allow me to wrap it up, guys. Share, like, and subscribe if you haven't done so. If you lasted until this long, you're absolutely amazing. And yeah, definitely consider getting yourself a little bit of high tech. I think it's going to deliver you, bring you a lot of joy to your life. Sometime this year, I'm not sure exactly when, but sometimes this year. And yeah, other than that, thank you for your time, guys. And I definitely see you sometime soon. Cheers.